Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com. Okay, tell me if you've felt this way before. Every time you work on a piece of music, a new song, a new single, a new album, whatever, you're super excited about it. You're super proud of it. You work hard on it. You release it. After a few months, you start to see all its flaws, all the things you could have done better. And then if you're like me, you're on to the next project. You're like, you know what? That's crap. I'm going to do something better next time. And that's largely a good thing because that's how you do improve, is the next project. You don't improve by just perfecting one song or one album. You improve by moving on to the next one. But how many of us have looked back at all our old recordings and mixes and just like our ears hurt when we listen to it because we're like, I can't believe I had that drum sound, or I can't believe I mic'd up the vocals that way, or I can't believe I used that reverb in the mix. Yeah, I've been there. And typically we think we're always going to get better, and what we did in the past is just awful, and we're afraid of it, we're embarrassed of it. We want to pull our old stuff off our website, our old portfolio off our client website. But hear me out on this. The other day, I was driving to my office, dropped my kids off at school because they're back in school, driving to my office, and sometimes I'll listen to a podcast, sometimes I'll call my brother, sometimes I'll just think. In the few minutes I have, to like 20 minutes from their school to the office, I didn't want to do any of those things on this day. And so I decided to get nostalgic and listen to old recordings I'd done. Of solo albums, of worship albums I'd done for my church band, all stuff that I'd written and recorded and produced. And I went back to 2008, 2007 for one record I did, because I had forgotten about some of these songs. So I'm going back 13 years and listening to some of these songs. And at first I shuddered at some of the drum sounds I had. I shuddered at some of the vocal performances I gave because I was still developing as a vocalist, as I always am. But, and here's where I wanted to land today, I started to notice certain things I did, either tone-wise that I got on the guitars, or a cool vocal stutter effect I did, or a really nice use of delay, or really nice blend of harmonies, or really cool call and response vocals. And then I listened to another song that I thought I had mixed quickly and was a rushed project, but when I listened to it, there were some amazing sonic decisions, some tasty little treats. And I kept going on this journey of nostalgia, of listening to old songs that I hadn't listened to for like 10 years. And what I came to find was, as much as there was awkward, embarrassing moments in terms of tones, I feel like I could have gotten a lot better if I had the chance today, there was so much that was good about some of those old songs and recordings where I could see where I was going. I could see my ideas playing out. It was like hidden gems that I said, oh, okay, Graham 13 years ago or Graham 10 years ago was on the right track, had some good ideas. Let's not throw everything out. In fact, some of the things I was doing in some of those old records, I haven't done in forever. I've forgotten about techniques or ideas that I almost wanted to steal from my former self and bring into the present on current projects. It got me really excited about the raw potential and talent that was there, even if it wasn't fully developed, even if there was tones and sounds that I would do differently now, even if I've learned new things and developed my tastes, there were still good ideas back then that I had forgotten about, that I'm no longer using, that I almost could borrow from myself. And it just made me have a better appreciation for this journey that we're on in the craft of music production, recording, and mixing. Like any craft, you start because you have a passion and some inherent talent, I would hope. You only get better the more you do, but that doesn't discredit some of the gems, some of the gold nuggets that you had in the early projects, the early moments when there was no pressure, when you weren't overthinking it, when you were just being creative, when you were just reacting to the music, when you were just having fun, when you didn't realize that was not the way to use your DAW in that capacity, but you stumbled across a cool sound. There's something inherently beautiful about that. In fact, the more you learn, sometimes you can overthink and over-formulaic things, which isn't a verb, or over-formulize. Formulize? You get the idea. You can become too textbook. At times, I think I've become too textbook, and there are some really brave, creative moments 13 years ago on a record that isn't the best sounding holistically, but there's some moments that I don't even know if I could recreate that. That was super cool what we did there. So I was encouraged. And I wanted to share that little story with you today to give you something to think about this week or this weekend. I would take an hour out of your day whenever you have some time. It could be in the car. Maybe you're just taking a break from work, or I like to go for walks and sometimes listen to something. Whatever it is, take an hour out of your day sometime in the next week and listen to some old recordings or old mixes or old productions you've done. I'm talking as old as you can get. Get through the cringe-worthy stuff, but see if you can find some golden nuggets, some little gems where you were having flashes of brilliance and genius, even if you couldn't fully execute on the idea. And take note of some of those things that you actually might want to borrow from your former self and maybe reintroduce or implement on a current project. And at the very least, you'll see how far you've come holistically, but also you'll be encouraged about how right you were even in the early projects. You had some ideas that were spot on that might encourage and motivate you and inspire you to do something cool in the studio in the weeks and months to come. That's all I have for you today. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you're going to take me up on this and listen to some old recordings, or if you already did and came back and had some cool takeaways from an old recording. I'd love to hear, so just leave a comment below. And of course, if you want to dive in and make a really, really good recording this weekend, which I think is a great idea, just do a whole song in a weekend. Why not? And you don't know the best way to approach it. You've got an idea, you've got your gear, maybe you've recorded and mixed a bit, but you're not getting the best sound possible out of your studio. You probably don't have a good plan. And so I have a 6 steps to a radio-ready song guide that I offer my students here that gives them a linear path to go from good idea to streaming on Spotify and sounding amazing. It's a simple PDF you download, walk you through the 6 steps. I want you to have it. And it would be really cool if you went and made a song this weekend and followed all 6 steps. Most of the home studio owners and users that I know are only doing 3 or 4 of these steps, meaning they're missing up to half of the professional steps that you need for your song to sound professional. So make sure you download that guide. Just go to radioreadyguide.com, or I'll link below here as well, and grab that if you don't have it. Read it, implement it, make a great song, and then share it with the community. That'd be awesome. Hope you have a great week and a great weekend. Stay healthy and safe. I'll see you on another video real soon.